You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, here we are again. It's a week before Christmas. I'm doing a little better than I was yesterday, but I tell you, I was hacking in a coffin. So how about you ladies? I have the ladies for the next step here today. Y'all feeling okay? Got the weather, the crud?
I'm feeling better. I had the crud last week, and so I'm amazed. This weekend I didn't even have a voice.
Yeah. I was telling them earlier, I go through these coughing spells. I feel like I'm having an exorcism performed on me, and it's just, it ain't fun. But how about you? Summer, are you holding up?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, well.
This isn't wood, but.
Yeah, whatever. But, when Robin was sick a week prior, it just, what do I do now? I mean, I'm sure with 4 kids, they're like, well, who's going to make my lunch? Right? And that guy's
a little bit.
Yeah, Chad
we
is like.
We value independence in my household.
Okay.
Hope they all figure it. Chad was sick before me, and he was sick longer than me. And so our illness overlapped, but we just got to make it happen.
Well, how about your kids? Are they doing okay?
Yeah, none of them have seemed to got it. My oldest had a little bit of a scratchy throat over the weekend, beginning of the week, but it hasn't been what we had. Yeah,
but you really don't want to be sick during the Christmas season because you're seeing everybody and it just spreads around and it just... Oh, it does get a bit much. I'm sharing this with several dozen of my friends and want to put a Next Step Heroes there.
Yeah.
Also, my Sunday school class, they always like to see y'all show. Anyway, now that I take care of that kind of business, let's take care of the other kind of business, and we'll get to this kind of business next. Okay, thank you to our friend Otto at Our Place. I went to Our Place 2 yesterday on the way over here for the first time. I know you always go to the Our Place in Burleson, of course, and it was the same good food and same good service, same atmosphere, everything was great. I was supposed to go this morning because our men in the Sunday school class get together every other week, but I just couldn't get up at 6 a.m. I just said, there ain't no way I was going to get up at 6 a.m. feeling like this, and I didn't want to hack all over them either. But we go there, and we used to try to solve problems. Now we just bellyache about football, so that's about it. But it's always great food and great service. And also Gina's. I always really enjoy Gina's. I think the food is great. I like the music. I like the atmosphere. It's a real joint, It's a great place. Also, both these places are selling gift cards. So if you need stocking stuffers, there's a great place to do it. I like getting gift cards to restaurants because... that way I don't have to pay. Anyway, but also it's a good place to get them. If you're going to order a pie, by the way, I would ask you to do orders probably this week because they're not going to be open all next week. So you might want to make sure if you want a pie, and they're great pies, of course. One time he brought a pecan pie to the show, and it's you like pecan pie?
Yes.
It's not good for my numbers, but still, it was good tasting, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had apple pie over there, and it's like, whew, I'm not going to tell my mother this is actually better, So there you go. Also, thank you to John Williams at Old Pro Roofing, 817-734-2756. At our BNI meeting yesterday, we was talking about some horror story about insurance companies. Just if they can find a way not to pay, they're going to do it in some cases. Now, I'm not going to say that about my group, Texas Farm Bureau. I always throw them out there because he says they are a lot easier to work with. But he says there's a couple that you basically are going to have to get down and wrestle with them. Wow. And he'll help you with that. But he had his story like, they had damage, and then insurance companies trying to say it's old damage, therefore. 817-734-2756, and we'll give you a free inspection. Also, our friend Jeff Kelly, 817-781-0546. He's with the Wethington Agency. He was talking at the BNI meeting yesterday. He has a house for sale that, wow, if I had that kind of extra money, I would really look into it. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house over by the high school, by BHS. And it was like $310, and that's a pretty good deal, So if you're looking to buy a house, he's got several for sale, including that one. So 817-781-0546 or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. Also read something today about the interest rates are kind of drifting downward, so maybe that'll help a little bit with the markets. And our friend Rich Hooper, I bet y'all know him.
Oh, we love Rich.
Yeah, 88.3 The Journey. It's this is a nonprofit, by the way, guys. So it's year-end donations are always welcome. I guess we'd say the same for y'all, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do y'all get a bunch of year-end donations?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. All right. The tax laws are different, but I guess the giving is still the same. Sorry, see, I'll be doing that a lot. So yeah, you take it up to December 31st, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. We'll talk a little bit about the money because you had that big gala back in October, and you told me before the show was one of your biggest ones.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so tell us a little about that. How I know that y'all really did well with it. They had a great speaker, and there's emotionally touching story. And we're teasing Summer that she's seen it multiple times, and she still gets teary eyed
Every time.
You're an easy mark though.
I
mean,
am. I'm a crybaby.
Yeah, you cry at those Hallmark movies.
Yes, I do.
You know it's going to end up okay, right?
I know. And even the movies that I've seen a million times, I cry every time.
But do you cry when it's okay? So it's like happy tears, or
Yeah,
mostly,
yeah.
or like
Yes.
in the.
I haven't watched It's a Wonderful Life yet.
You've never seen Wonderful Life?
No. I watch it every year, but I haven't watched it
all
yet
right.
this year because I'm not emotionally ready to watch it. And my
Yeah.
daughter's like, "Why do you want to watch it?" Because it's the best movie ever.
It's the
And it
best Christmas movie.
cleanses my.
Here's
Sure
another.
does.
Well, here's a Christmas question for you: Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? That's a great debate. You ever seen Die Hard?
I have I've seen the debate, and people are real hard one way, and I'm like, you know what? If you want, I'm not a hard stand on that. If you want it to be a Christmas movie, Merry Christmas, have a good time.
Yeah.
So same with Better Off Dead and Beat Street. So
Or also was the second Batman movie with Michael Keaton. It's around Christmas time,
Yeah.
and it's not exactly what I'd call Christmas movie, but whatever. I'm not really big into that. I do watch It's a Wonderful Life though, and it's like, because it's just such a classic.
yes,
It's one of the few holiday traditions I have. I'm not really big into Christmas. I prefer Thanksgiving. I really do because it's football and food and family in that order.
and no pressure of buying gifts.
Yes, and everybody brings something. It's. I like it a lot better.
Yeah.
I like Christmas. We've been doing Advent where you light the candles and read the scripture, and the book I have now, the kids pass it around and they all read it, and that's really sweet.
Dang, you're so wholesome. My teeth hurt. I mean, just so darn, you know. And you got the stockings and the tree, and
Yes. Yes.
and you probably read the Christmas story on Christmas Eve or Christmas.
We
morning.
usually do, yeah. All those things.
Oh, no. Holy moly.
Now, let me say, I'm also like stressed about, do I have enough gifts for all the kids? I do like wrapping the presents. When I was
Really?
in high school, I worked at Bell's, and they at Christmas, they would teach you how to wrap, and you have to, and I really I like it when you get the edges all crisp and they look all cute, and I do like that.
You need a little more cynicism in your life. I mean, you really do. You got, come on, she's just so darn wholesome. Is this all she is around the place?
Yes.
Clinic as well? Okay, fine. Well, let's talk about
my presents.
Yeah, let's talk about the gala.
Yes.
All right. Now you had the speaker, and it had a very unusual name, right?
Yes.
Stevenson.
That's a new one for me. And he had a really great story about he was adopted, and his mom was special needs, and there's a lot more story to it. And I'm sure, do they have that video clip on your website?
We don't have any video on our website, but you can hear his story if you look up Stevenson, all E's, Holland, Holland. You can find on YouTube, he tells his story. You can find him on Instagram, he tells his story. You can hear it a lot of places.
It's a beautiful story.
And she'll cry every time.
I will.
Yes.
And it was a great story, and I tell you, it was very effective in the fundraiser. I mean, and because I think a lot of people were tearfully handing over bigger than average
We
donations.
had checks that had tear stains on them.
Yeah, that's right. But y'all said it was one of your most successful galas.
It was.
Yes, and
good.
I think there's a lot of factors in that. I think we had a full house. We had a good group of people there. We're really intentional where we're not just trying to get anybody in the seat. We want people in the seat who, if they hear what we do, they're going to get excited about
You
it.
just don't want to drag everybody
And so,
in, right?
yeah. Like, I mean, it's, there's a lot of fundraisers that, like the walk or whatever, that are just parties. They're just fun to be at. But this one's really intentional. And then I do think, and I'll tell you this, Stevenson is a man of faith. And he called me in July and was like, okay, what's your number? And I was like, what? It's July.
Yeah.
He was like, no. And he had us go through like, what's our ultimate budget? And he did a lot of math and he was like, I want to ask really big. I want to
Well, he
ask
did.
for big numbers.
I did.
And he said, I'm going to believe that that this is going to be your best year. And he was praying ahead of time for us. Like, his story was good, but I think that the encouragement of his faith, even for our staff, he spoke to our staff during the day. All of that was really good. But yeah, we exceeded any of the. This was my 4th gala to be in this role, and we exceeded giving for every year by at like 30,000-40,000.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, y'all are banking, huh?
And so, well, listen, we need it.
I know it. I know. Yeah, I know. Everybody says, "Well, it's your best year. You must be in good shape." Well, the expenses keep rising.
Well, and I'll say gala is just one facet of fundraising. We still rely on our monthly donors, and we rely on the walk, and we rely on end of year giving, and our budget far exceeds what we raise at gala. And so that was that went really well, and walk was normal. It met normal goals, and it was successful. But and a lot of, I'll say this year overall giving has been steady, but our need is so great. Like the number of people who we need to be able to help, the number of diapers we need to be able to give, the number of calls that are just like, last minute, they didn't come with a pregnancy test, but now they're having a baby, they need a car seat, or they're calling just for diaper help. The need is still really big.
Right. You gave me some numbers here. 175,552 diapers distributed.
And that was just through November, so we're still giving.
Holy moly.
But yes.
I mean, that's a lot of diapers.
That's a lot of diapers.
Yeah, and it's the expenses, of course, are rising on everything. There's nothing that's not going up, and so, and you talk about the client visits. I think in the last 3 or 4 years, we've always had your facility. It seems like, in fact, next year's your 40th year, right?
40th year.
But I think in the last 5 years, it's become much more known.
Yes.
And I'd like to think it's because of this, but I would be egotistical in saying that. I think a lot of it has to do with y'all's work and promotion and, getting the word out on all the various methods and whatnot. And I think it's become a lot more of a known thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was teaching high school, I knew about it, but because I knew about it because of my church, but it wasn't something I knew as an option. Not that I needed that particular option, but some of my students did.
Students did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even though I don't know if this is legal or not, but I would direct them towards but then it was the Pregnancy Aid Center.
Yeah, I don't think it's not. We communicate with the district nurses every year, and they're able to point them to us.
Courtney Pete was there, and she's the head of the nurses at BISD.
Yeah. No, she and I organize that every month, every year. The Centennial High School nurse, she's called us quite a few times. She's asked for tips on how to have a conversation with a student. She's sent people to us, and the other high schools have too.
Well, I know in Texas it's not a problem, but I do know in some, like California. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a problem.
Yeah, the nurses would be in trouble for directing them to a faith-based institution.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one that is designed to try to persuade a young woman, not persuade, but to give them options. I don't use that word persuade because, a lot of people get the wrong idea about these kind of clinics that they come in and you'll browbeat them and say, you can't have an abortion. That's not what y'all do at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. You'll come and say, hey, I know what you're considering, but here's some other things to think about.
Right.
Yes.
And that's how it's supposed to be. But California gets this attitude that you're there to beat them with the New Testament or something. And that's just wrong on California's part. And it's not what y'all do at all.
No.
I mean, and y'all have told me every time you come to the show, you give them options, not guilt trips.
Right.
And I think a lot of those young ladies are grateful for the options because, an abortion is a very, very traumatic thing, even though maybe the pro-choice side makes it sound like it's as common as a tonsillectomy or something like that. It's not the same. There's a lot more implications to it than just a routine procedure or surgery.
Absolutely.
But I think the pro-choice side makes it sound like, nobody.
They do. They say it's, taking the pill is as safe as Tylenol. And they do say it's the same as like having a tooth pulled. But when a child is conceived, no matter what action you take, there is an emotional toll. There's something that's good. There's implications that are going to happen. And we've had people in our office recently who are talking about their past abortion that they hadn't talked about for years, and then the emotional toll that it's taken.
You know, we've all known people that have women have had miscarriages, and they just mourn it like it was, you know, a full birth. You know, and so, you know, so I know that what y'all do is you provide this atmosphere. Said, look, you know, young lady may say, I'm scared, I'm desperate, I don't have any other options, and you say, wait a minute now. Here's some things you need to consider. Here's some things you can show. You'd show them a path that they were looking for, but they didn't know existed.
Yeah, we want to slow down their thinking because their thinking is so rapid. Is, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this now. And it's like, hang on, you have time to slow down. Let's think through the things that you you know, the things that you're thinking why you need to go this route.
He also, I'm sure these young ladies or these people you counsel who have had abortions probably feel like God will never forgive them.
Yes.
And that's, God forgives anything.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's not like he's having to put his back into this one. His forgiveness is easy. All right.
Absolutely.
But for the person that's gone through this, so that may be a bit of a, I might have to convince them of that.
We have a group that it's a 12-week group called Forgiven and Set Free that we walk through women who have walked through abortion. And we just finished our recent class this week, and these women were able to get up at the end. I attended the that night and tell their stories, and to watch them walk out in freedom from the guilt and the shame and all of those things that they've been feeling. And these women, you know, it's been years since they had their abortions, and to watch that is pretty cool to see the evidence of the Holy Spirit in that room. We try to do this class about twice a year, and anybody who has walked through an abortion at any point in their life is welcome to take this class.
I bet
it's
there's
very
a lot of emotion though.
A lot of emotion, and a lot of hard work, but the Holy Spirit just
well,
just
if he can.
it.
If the Lord could forgive Saul, now Paul, then we could forgive this too, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of how I look at things. And when I think, wow, that was dumb, I'm embarrassed to talk to God about this one. But there you go.
He's already,
it's already
there. Yeah.
But y'all have a pretty full schedule, though. I'm going to do the year and stuff towards the end, but I want to look at the next year's schedule. I mean, because you've got a lot going on. You have a church liaison brunch. Is this at your place?
So, yes, this will be at Next Step. And it's one of those things, if anyone is interested, I'll make sure our website, our email is in the thing. But if a lot of our churches in town have a liaison. So, for First Baptist, it's Katina. I'm blanking at Skiles, I think. I'm like, the last name's not coming to me. But they'll all come together and they'll get a similar list to this, but they get a whole packet on what's going on at Next Step over the next year and how their church can partner. And it's not that every church is never going to do everything because it's too much, but one church may be really excited about Walk for Life, and another might be really excited about Baby Bottle Boomerang, or another, like First Baptist does the baby shower in May. Like, there's a lot of different ways for churches to connect. And at that meeting, we kind of go through, here's everything. If you pick what you want to do this year with us, and we'll work together. And we do that usually through these church liaisons because pastors are really busy and we have relationships with pastors and we can call them and there's things that they're going to help us with. But the bulk of caring, like how to connect, it helps them a lot if they have a member who's excited to do some of that legwork for them.
Right. So if you put food on the table, though, Sam Ross will be there. Right.
There's always food.
True.
There's always food. Well, that's the Texas thing, you know. You put food on the table, let's show up for about anything. So that's good. And then songs and stories. This is at Pathway, is it not?
This
No.
year,
Oh.
it's at Cana Church. We kind of bop
Cana.
around. The
Okay.
first year, it was at Pathway. This year, Songs and Stories is at Cana Church. It's going to be a little different.
Out in the country, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's
You got to
well,
go way out there.
well, it's all the way out there. But, for a lot of people who may not know where Cana Baptist is,
It's out Renfro,
Yeah.
past
East Renfro.
Stribling,
Yeah.
past all of that.
past Via Diana, all
Yeah,
that. Yeah. See,
yeah.
that's if you say that. Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful church out there, and they're so kind to help us with this event. Songs and Stories is a worship time, but it's also a time where we share stories of what God's doing in Next Step and outside of Next Step and in the work that we do with pro-life ministry. And Rich Hooper, who we talked about with 88.3 The Journey, is actually going to do some emceeing, moderate our panel. We're going to have a panel that's going to have someone who's had an abortion, someone who's had placed a child for adoption, and a couple who were pregnant as young people who were encouraged to have an abortion, but they chose not to. They chose life, and they're married, and every one of those people are honestly, I think, powerhouses in ministry, but they've gone through something really hard, and they're going to share their stories and that kind of thing.
I want to segue. You mentioned something about putting up for adoption. I had a friend in my younger days, in my 20s, who had he fathered a child, and they decided to put it up for adoption, and he just mourned it.
Yes.
And he was mourning, and my buddies and I were trying to tell him, look, you were in no position to raise a child financially or otherwise, and now this kid's going to have a good life. He went through one of the homes, I believe, Lena Pope, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. And I said, we were saying to him, hey, you gave this kid life, and somebody out there is going to maybe do the parenting and all this other stuff, but, you didn't take the easy way out.
Yeah.
And you didn't, insist on having a child when you weren't ready to have one financially or otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's married and he has kids of his own and all this other stuff. I haven't seen him in about 30 years, so I don't know if they've ever met again or whatever. He ever it was a son, I believe. I don't know if they've ever connected, but I think that's something that people need to also realize is that that's a better option than abortion.
Absolutely. But there's also, like you're saying, there's also emotion and grief attached to adoption as a birth mom or birth dad.
Right.
But there's so much value. And these days, there's so many options for open adoption that we heard from Christian Homes Adoption Center the other day, and they're talking about if you're going in to adopt with them, you're going to have to be open to an open adoption. Now, if something's going on and mom has addiction or something that they need to close it for a season or whatever, they will do that. But there was a story there about a mom who was she was young and she wasn't ready. She placed for adoption, and now she almost functions like an aunt. Like she's in the life of the child. They're doing family stuff together. But she knew she couldn't provide the family and the environment that the child needed. And so this child has a lot of people who love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good that Texas doesn't discriminate against faith-based operations. Like, I know that I read an article about how some of the Catholic organizations are getting excluded from state services in certain states, like Michigan, like Pennsylvania, like our friends in California. And I thought, and you think, what is the matter with you people? You're denying a child an opportunity just because you have some sort of bias against faith-based operations. But that's a show for another time.
Yes.
Also, Walk for Life on the 18th of April. And you walk around and
Doing it at Bailey Lake again.
Bailey Lake, yeah. It's a good time of year.
Yeah.
Like down a couple of years ago, you got rained out, didn't you?
We did,
Yeah.
and we ended up walking around the gym at Burleson Church of Christ. Yes. They were so sweet to overnight provide an emergency location for us. But this past year was our first year at Bailey Lake. It was a great morning to walk. We had some breakfast tacos, and Rich and 88.3 were there, and we raised money and we walked and had a great morning.
Well, and we will probably, I'm quite sure we'll see you again before this, but it's not a protest of any kind. There's no signs. There's nothing like that at all. This is
We do have signs that are like, way to go, keep walking.
Well, we're not talking about like.
No, I know. I'm just
political
saying.
sign. Yeah, way to go.
It's not
Way
political.
to go.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
We have cheerleaders. It's fun.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Not like, well, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It is. It's well known. They've been doing this quite some time. I remember they doing it even when I was teaching at the old high school, now the early college building, right? Mm-hmm. And they'd walk around the track and all this other stuff. And so I remember that. And the baby bottle boomerang, I know that our Sunday school class takes advantage of this. So we have one of our members in the Sunday school class really this organization is close to her heart. And so we always bring in bottles and he bring in change. And some of them, they're full of change. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, how much is this? And then we have some that said, look, I don't need change. And they'll throw in a couple of 20s or 50s or something like that.
And we like that too.
Yes.
Folded money always is accepted. Yes. I don't know how much we gave as a Sunday school class last year, but I know one of the members came in after this event and said, I forgot these at home, and had 4 full bottles of change. All right. And I don't have no idea how much is in it, but it's more than you think, right?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
It adds up. I'm sorry, I don't remember how much your Sunday school class brought in, but the children's ministry at or spiritual formation at St. Anne's did it their first year and raised $1,800 in change. It was incredible. So it feels like a small way to be a part, but it adds up.
Well, your relationship with the churches is very strong. I know it is with ours. I bet it is with St. Anne's. I'm sure, Church of Christ, you already mentioned. I'm sure there's others that are quite supportive as well. And that's the kind of community we live in.
We have 24 churches that support us.
That's good.
Yep.
Well, that 25th one, they need to get on the ball here.
Let's round it up to 25. Yeah.
But as far as, this community, I mean, I think you're operating in a pretty fertile field, so to speak, because you're not just y'all's, but other organizations will say there's a lot of generous people. Mm-hmm. I know the food banks. I'm going to segue again while I'm thinking about it. The food banks aren't going to be open much the next couple of weeks, and they've had a lot of business. So, beginning in January, we might need to restock the shelves. Yeah. I went in there. Rob and I, it's been placed on our heart to help promises. Mm-hmm. And so we go once a month with some stuff. And I went in there last time about December 3rd or something like that. And they have 4 rows of chairs full of people waiting, plus people standing, plus the shopping area was full. Mm. And fortunately, the food was sufficient. They had a lot of donations in November and December, but boy, they're doing big business. And same with Harvest House, same with Crowley House of Hope. So that's something we're going to focus on in January, because when they return, there's going to be a lot of people that, have been missed them because, y'all are not open during the holidays, are you?
Yeah. Well, we'll be closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but yeah. We'll be
but I know the food banks, a lot of them are going to be closed for a week or longer.
Yeah.
Well, how about, so you're going to be open like Monday and Tuesday?
We'll be open Monday and Tuesday. And then the next week we'll be open every day except New Year's Day.
Wow.
Yeah. There's just so much need.
Right. Well, the thing about the food banks is that they're all run by volunteers, and they do have families, and they do have Christmas plans and all this other stuff. Yeah. And
and we're not a regular place that you're like. Yeah. The people who go to food banks are having to do that for a couple weeks at a time. Yeah. But because of the nature of what we do, there are people who are home for college and just realizing some things, or there are people who this is when they're off, and it it makes sense. So we try to be available as much as we can.
And Christmas in July, which is always a fun thing. I always feel sorry for Santa, though. He probably sweats like a dog in this thing.
Well, this year, let me tell you, Santa and I were talking, and most of our donations for Christmas in July come in online these days. Like they'll drop it off throughout the month, or it's coming from our Amazon wish list, just being mailed. And we just haven't had a huge turnout for the in-person. Right. So it will be Christmas in July in a lot of different ways. You'll see boxes around town, but we probably won't have Santa. So we won't be having a day event this time.
It's not like virtual. It's going to be a virtual Christmas in July.
Yes.
It's like the Toys for Tots thing, right? With the boxes and whatnot. Boy, speaking of which, Jack was talking yesterday at our BNI meeting about they had 4,500 toys donated, which exceeds their last total by 50%.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's
and I
very
know
cool.
that some of those toys went to Harvest House.
Right.
And they did their holiday friends last Thursday. I was able to volunteer and walk clients around, let them pick out the toys.
Oh boy, but that was fun.
It was so fun. They were so excited. It was such a blessing. And then they had leftover in those toddler toys, and so they donated some of those to us. So
Rock and roll. All
we're
right.
yeah, it's a huge blessing for the whole community and all of us as nonprofits. I really appreciate that Amber was like, yeah, we have this whole room full of, toddler toys. I told them to call you first and then do and then go down the list. So it was a blessing.
It was.
Yeah, she's doing a great job at Harvest
She
House.
is doing a great job.
And I asked her to come on the show sometime in December, and they're covered up with business and
Yeah.
the year-end budgeting and all that other stuff. So I'm going to see her in January, and we'll talk about that. Also, I know Elizabeth Becker over at House of Hope here in Crowley, about a block from here. They did the same thing, and I haven't talked to her since then, but I had her on in early December, and she says it's one of their favorite things. I mean, you see moms walking through, and they probably a month prior, they were thinking, I'm not going to be able to give anything to my kids, and now I'm going to be able to give my kid maybe this Star Wars toy or whatever. And it's, it's a blessing, because I'd hate to wake up on Christmas morning with no presents. I mean, as a kid. Now, as an adult, I save some money. I'm like, all right.
That's what my husband would say too.
You don't need to buy me anything, Robin.
No, but for the kids, and there were moms who were able to get away and come alone and shop, and there were moms with kids who were there, and the kids kind of would see the space, and then the ones I'm like, oh, we played a lot of paper, rock, scissors to be like, look over here, like this, like. It was fun though, and they were all excited to be there, and the moms were so grateful. So
a lot of people think that when you're dealing with these kind of charities, you're dealing with a certain type of person, and I bet you saw all walks, because
Absolutely.
There's Amber and Debbie Beeman, who, by the way, is retiring at the end of this month. You know that?
No.
Oh yeah, she's had some health issues, so she's moving to Houston, I believe.
Oh wow.
But with her sister, she's retiring at the end of this month, and that's going to be hard to replace her.
Absolutely.
I don't know who's going to do it, but anyway, they'll tell you that a lot of the people that they serve are middle class people, that just their job is lost, or they had a medical emergency that wiped them out, or things like that, or they're check to check, and then their car breaks down and it's a $1,500 bill and all this other stuff. And I bet y'all get the same kind of clients. I mean, because when I first started talking with y'all about 4 years ago, maybe, and I knew what kind of young lady y'all would deal with. I had no idea. I'm sorry. I had no idea y'all dealt with women in their 30s. I just assumed they're all, problem pregnancies from, 17-year-old girls.
Right.
Because that's what I saw in high school, right, as a teacher. But y'all are dealing with all sorts and all levels of income and status, or whatever else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it isn't, this isn't like just a service for people that are in poverty or broke or whatever. This is something I'm sure some of your clients probably are married women that are, and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so that was real education for me when I started talking with y'all, just how varied your clientele is. Okay, what else we got here? And then the gala, October 15th, it's, I assume, the same hotel.
Yes.
Hopefully be the same name, because it keeps changing names on us.
I know, that's what it's been the last 3 years. I think it's been the same name. So we're hoping for the best with that. That remodel may have made it stick.
Yeah.
And that sales team has been working pretty hard. So
Well, it's a good place. It's a convenient place.
yes.
And the food was pretty good, except make a request next time. No Brussels sprouts, okay? All right, same thing.
She chose the Brussels
chose-
sprouts.
And I hate Brussels
I do
sprouts.
too.
But when we did
When
the
we did the taste, a lot of things were different at the tasting than in real. Like once the piece of meat was a very different size at the tasting. So we'll have to ask more strategic questions.
Well, I figured, these kind of mass events, the steak was about, 5 ounces or whatever.
Yeah,
and I
right.
figured you're not going to get a whole plate full. This ain't, like Texas Roadhouse or something like that. But but you're still, it's funny because my wife has this vegetable medley she likes to make. And it has all sorts of vegetables in it. And you fry it up and put it in oil in it, blah, blah, blah. And there's Brussels sprouts in it. And I think I'm eating bugs. And so I'm taking those out and I give them to her. And then I go there and there's a plate. There's Brussels sprouts. Here, Lauren, you want these?
That's funny. Yesterday at Station 330, I said, replace my seasonal vegetables with their Brussels sprouts. I like those.
Oh, yeah?
Well, the day of the tasting, I was starving because I was on a liquid diet. And so I was like, this is the best thing ever.
It was her one meal of the day.
One meal.
It probably really affected the choices.
Oh, well.
Colored the choice.
Yeah. I like Station 330, by the way.
I do too.
Robin and I
Me
go
too.
there for lunch more often. I mean, once every 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And Jesse really does a lot of good stuff. I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot. He does a lot of charitable related stuff over at Station 330. I know that, like you can add $5 to your tab and it will go to some charity and that kind of thing. Or if you come here and eat this certain day, 15% goes to a certain charity. And
Yeah.
they've done it with Promises. I bet they've done it with y'all.
No.
They
That way
haven't
you
done
need
it
to.
with us yet, but they've done
Jesse.
it yet. I'm going to throw that out there, Jesse.
Yeah.
But I know they've done it with Harvest House and they have some special things. But I'm there every Tuesday with the Midday Rotary. And
Right.
so I eat there every Tuesday. Yesterday I ate there, or this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. But I'm not complaining.
No, it's so good.
Wait a minute. They have a Tuesday Rotary on Tuesdays.
Yes.
What time?
Lunchtime, not noon.
Noon? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You going to visit us?
I might because on my DBU schedule, I have a Tuesday class, but it's 8 in the morning, so I have to get up really early. So yeah, I could probably, join the Rotary. I don't know,
Yeah.
promote the show, whatever.
Their next president's going to be really awesome.
Who is that?
Me.
You? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, let's talk about that then
We
after the
need
show.
membership to group. No.
Well, by the way, on the Rotary, how much is it annual fee?
Well, there's two different prices. To join the Rotary, it's $200 for the Rotary dues, but then you pay for your meals, which is
Well,
about
sure.
Yeah,
right.
You can either pay for your meals. There's like a lump sum, or you can pay every time you come.
I'd probably do the latter, and you
Yeah.
could write it off. It's an expense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well, I'll have to talk to you about that because I know the Rotary does good work.
Yeah.
And are y'all the ones? No, Lions Club does the eyeglasses, right?
Yes.
But y'all do something special.
We do, well, there's the midday Rotary and the morning Rotary, and they the morning Rotary does the dictionaries in the schools. Midday Rotary really focuses on giving to individual nonprofits.
Like
So like Next Step, like Harvest House,
like Mr. Allard's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one too. We also do something. We work with the school district to do Rise Against Hunger, usually every year, where we pack the boxes and thousands of meals that go out, and it's really fun because we do it with the teenagers. So
Well, I might try to do that. I usually have a podcast on Tuesdays.
yeah,
But-
at 11.
11. Well, it's been noon this past semester because of my DBU schedule.
Oh yes.
But it's a different schedule. You have a certain schedule in the fall and a certain schedule in the spring, and they're pretty consistent with it. And so I could make these meetings. And as far as a podcast, I have latitude of when I can schedule it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, we'd love to have you.
I want to try it. So let's talk about some of your stats here. You've got a bunch here.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
All right. 10,527 total client visits, 538 sonograms. That must be a real treat for y'all.
It's my favorite thing. I mean, obviously we have the nurses do the
Yeah,
sonograms,
right.
but I love to be in the room when they're doing the ultrasounds because that is just the coolest thing ever.
And let's be clear, this isn't like, some training thing you give to the volunteers. This is done by a registered nurse.
Yes, an
Right.
RN who's gone through all the training
Right.
to
Yes.
do it. It is a limited ultrasound. We're not doing any full diagnostics or anatomy scans. We're looking for three things. We're looking to find heartbeat. We're looking to make sure baby's where baby is supposed to be. And we're looking to measure to help give a better idea of how far along they are.
Hopefully this doesn't happen very often, but what if they find an anomaly or something like that?
So what?
Or abnormality, maybe is the better word.
The nurse at that point will tell her you need to, depending on what it is, you need to either go to the ER immediately or you need to contact your doctor immediately.
That must be kind of a hard conversation.
It's a hard conversation, especially for, because not all of our moms are in crisis. I mean, some of them are super excited and super happy to be pregnant and things like that. So Yes, but we do make sure that they're getting the care that they need to get immediately.
Well, that's good because they may have not known that their pregnancy has issues otherwise.
Right.
And they'd find out maybe when it's too late or whatnot. And so I'm glad you're there as a protective measure.
Yeah.
But probably I would imagine the vast majority of your sonograms are routine and
absolutely.
Things are good and that kind of thing.
And Dr. Neef, who is our medical director, he looks at every single scan as well,
Right.
just to make sure that everything.
And this Dr. Neef has his own office on
Yes,
it, right?
he's at Hughley,
right. So he's not in your clinic or
Correct.
facility.
Correct.
Okay. Also, I mentioned a number, the thousands of diapers distributed. Where do you get these diapers?
We purchased them from HEB.
HEB?
Yeah.
I hope they give you a discount.
I don't know the logistics of it, but I know that they worked a deal.
And I mean, we're able to call them and give them an order so that we're not going and raiding their shelves and everything like that.
Well, how could they say no to y'all? I mean, you walk in there, tearful look in your eyes. Our babies need diapers, and here, take all you want.
Right.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine somebody saying no to her?
No,
I can't either. No,
not very many people do.
no.
With that, Summer, I'd like to talk about
About a raise or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and 340 prenatal and parenting class clients.
Yes.
Under 90 STI tests. You've been doing that about a year now, right?
yes.
And it's probably going to catch on even more. Because it's confidential. Why not? It's not like he said, get on Facebook and said, hey, guess who tested positive? It would be kind of bad.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. But that's probably good because that's kind of embarrassing, to tell you the truth, for particularly a young man.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's, so it's done confidential, but also if she comes back positive, we treat for, or we test for chlamydia and gonorrhea. And if she comes back positive, we're going to also give her treatment for her partner as well.
Okay. You give treatment. Okay.
The antibiotics.
Okay, but it's over the counter, or
No, it's prescription.
well, you have a nurse though,
Yes,
right? Okay,
yeah.
so
Yes,
it's
the
not
nurse distributes it.
It isn't like the receptionist say, "Hey, come get your shot."
Right. Yes. No. It's prescription.
Whose turn is it now? No, it's done by medical professionals.
Yes.
Yes, and overseen by Dr. Neef.
Dr. Neef.
Okay, so and I think that's something important to emphasize. This isn't. I think the medical aspect of what you do is somewhat understated because a lot of people think about the diapers and think about the classes and think about clothes for the kids or whatever else. But you are providing at least a minimal level of medical services.
Absolutely.
And I know in your heart, I know what you want.
You know what I want.
Yeah, you want a full-on clinic one day.
On.
Is that even possible next year?
Maybe not next year. You know what? Anything's possible with God. But
yes, I know. But
it's in my
they say
5-year
that all the
plan.
time.
Right?
But God could do it. Well,
yes. Yeah. But in the next 5 years.
There are some goals, and I'm not going to say exactly what they are, but for next year to expand our medical services.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain hurdles and different, you got to do it right. And so there are other, we want to expand some of our STI testing and different things.
Do y'all work with the Christian Physicians Clinic over by the church?
We
First Baptist?
Absolutely. We send a lot of our clients over there.
Well, we have a lady that in our Sunday school class that volunteers there, and they are swamped. That could be open 24/7. Elizabeth Becker over at House of Hope, they have a clinic over there, and a couple of Hughley doctors come and volunteer about 3-4 hours a week.
Yeah,
and they don't have to wonder what to do with their time. Let's put it that way. They have a lot of business, and so if you ever did open up a full-on medical clinic, you're not going to be standing around doing nothing. I mean, there's going to be a lot of clientele.
It's a big need, yeah.
Because I could tell you, Robin and I have been going through some health issues. Not just a head cold, but Robin's gone through a couple others. And fortunately, thank the Lord, they're all good. So we're past that. But, that's what happens when you get older. And we see the bill. And I know a lot of it's covered by insurance, but it's like, is this the national debt I'm looking at here or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... so y'all, I hope this works.
me too.
I really do. That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's like, you like Christmas movies, all right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay, there's one called Bells of St. Mary's with Bing Crosby. You ever seen it? Okay, and some tycoon donates a big old facility for the parish or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
That's exactly what we need.
That is exactly
So
what we
another Bing Crosby movie. Yeah. And Ingrid Bergman, the best looking nun you ever saw. Anyway, 375 men served. That's another aspect that's really grown in the last year, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And that's just been incredible to see these men walking out with a little more confidence and a little more assurance that, they can do this. And so
we've started building our dad classes too.
Yes.
One's called Dr. Dad and Healthy Dad, and it's for those expecting and those who are already dadding, if you will.
You're dadding. Right.
But we're growing those programs and finding spaces for guys who, our men's director jokes a little bit about how hard it is to get them to come out of their shell.
Sure.
Like, because they don't ever want to appear weak. And so it takes a little bit to get to what, no, we get it. We can actually help you. And like, it's okay to need help. We're here for you. You know?
It's not just that. It's also in these kind of situations, the guys looked at, you got this girl pregnant. All right. It's like, it's your fault. All right. And I'm sure on the other side of the equation, the girl's family or whatever is saying it's your fault. Or maybe they're blaming him, and I'm thinking, well, that's kind of how it works, is the guy is getting all the stink eye, if you will, the side eye, like you did this, whatever. Or, and so they're probably already feeling a bit self-conscious about the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And, everybody thinks that the birth and the pregnancy and all that's all about the woman, which it is, but the father could be forgotten in all this. I'm glad y'all remember to, meet that need, I guess, serve that need, because the guy often gets neglected.
Absolutely.
And they're maybe felt some sort of guilt or shame that, you got this girl pregnant, now what are you going to do about it? You're going to need to take care of this girl. You're going to have to marry this girl, or maybe if they're already married or whatever, but you need to take care of this girl.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it, blah, blah, blah. And they're probably already feeling a burden about that. So I'm glad y'all provide that.
Well, and on the flip side of that too, society's kind of taken his voice away by telling him it's her body, her choice. You don't have a say and all of that. And that's not true too. And so we want to say, hey, please let her know that you are here and you are going to stand beside her and things like that.
Yes. And that's why I'm really appreciative that it's Josh Miller, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great guy.
Yeah. And still married to Laura, I'm sure.
Yes.
She just had a baby, right?
Yes. They had 6 months today. Happy birthday, Emberlyn.
Well, now she's still teaching at Centennial, right?
Yes.
Boy, that's a tough deal to teach and be a mom and all this other stuff, working mom. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know how Robin and I did it, tell you the truth. There was a lot of cooperative parenting, even though I was totally unprepared as always. Is there really any man that's prepared to be a father, tell you the truth? I mean, they moms seem to be natural at it.
They're not. They feel the same way. They there's some like the love and nurturing instinct, but there's a lot of pieces. Everybody's just figuring things out.
Well, we were fortunate because we had some financial stability, and we had 2 sets of parents. At the time, they were pretty close. Now, her parents they're over in North Carolina, and they've been there a long time. But at the time, they lived in Boyd, and so we had grandparents nearby, and Robin could call mom or her mother and say, what's happening here? He's coughing a lot, or he's sickly.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, here's what you do, or here's who you talk to. A lot of these women don't have this in their life.
Yeah.
They don't have an older woman maybe or an experienced mother to say, hey, look, he's running 103, but that's not unusual for a baby, but here's what you need to do about it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And we have a class about infant illness. Like, those are some of the things that we are able to provide.
Yeah. I remember one time, Sarah, my daughter, got like 105, and I'm panicking. And Robin wasn't around. She was working. And so I called my mother and said, well, we got to get that fever down, so cool her off and all this other stuff, and then, do this, that, do that. A lot of women don't have mama on the phone. And so that was a real blessing.
Yeah.
I was freaking out because 105 in an adult you're in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I thought maybe I needed to take her to the emergency room, but I didn't have to, but,
that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. I'm glad y'all provide these kind of classes because not all communities have this available to them.
Right.
Sometimes I think, in Burleson, I don't think we take it for granted, but we just assume that this is available every community, and it is not.
It's not.
I remember talking to some folks in Joshua, and they're envious of us because, I mean, y'all probably have Joshua clients.
We
I bet.
absolutely do.
Yeah, but they don't have a facility of their own.
Right.
But when you get that big facility, that dream facility, you're probably going to be doing business from all over the county and then some.
Absolutely.
We already are, but I mean, we'd love to increase.
Yes,
We'd love to
we
be
wanna
able to
increase
help more people.
Well, I've been to your facility more than once, and it's a tight fit.
It is.
And,
we know. We're on top of each other.
Yeah, you're right. And I'd like to see y'all expand. I wish, sometimes like I'll win the lottery, I'll give you some money. But I don't play the lottery. I figure I'm just throwing the money away. But still, always thought it'd be nice to be able just to throw out money.
Oh, yes.
Just here's $1 million. What is
If
that?
anyone
That's
is
a
able
rounding
to
error.
throw out money,
Yeah.
you can go to nextstepheroes.com.
Yeah, well, no, really. I'm sure that you have some high dollar rollers.
We
but-
do. We
but-
have
but-
fabulous donors
Yeah.
of all giving levels, and we
Right.
know that every donor is a donor not just because they're able to throw up. And everyone's intentional with their dollars.
Sure.
But they're donors because they care about the mission and ministering to women and men in this situation and helping them choose life and helping them choose Jesus and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, we mentioned this at every show, don't let the high dollar rollers intimidate the smaller donors because it's like, well, I can't give you $1,000. But if you've got 10,
Yes.
I honestly believe, I really do believe in the fish and loaves theory of donations to nonprofits, that at $10 will somehow expand to much more than just that.
$10 will buy a pack of diapers.
Right.
Absolutely, it will. And we really value our monthly donors. We thank you for being a monthly donor. Whenever I started, I'm minister's wife and now minister and nonprofit and all of those things. So we're intentional with our dollars too.
Yeah.
And when I first started giving, it was $10 a month.
Right.
That's where I could start. And it's a blessing. It adds up throughout the year. It's a pack of diapers a month, or it's, whatever a month. It matters.
It does matter.
Oh gosh, everybody I talk to says those monthly donors give us the ability to budget, right?
Yes.
And I talk to our friends at Wings of Hope, and they have one lady that donates to them a bag of carrots once a month. You think, well, what does that got to do with anything? Well, it was used and it was useful, and
That's one bag of carrots they didn't have to buy.
That's right. And so
It's huge.
it's all these things like that, and that's why I always encourage people. I said, if you don't have $1,000, I don't have $1,000, but I do have 25,
Yes.
and therefore, or whatever you feel led to give.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of church, I want to segue here. You got something coming up Sunday, don't you?
We do at Bold City Church. It is our very first service. We've never done a service before, and we're doing a pop-up Christmas service on Sunday at 11 at Texas Health Hughley in their meeting room. If you go through the front doors of Texas Health, the fitness center, you're going to go to the left, and we'll be in there, and we're going to worship and have a Christmas service. It's going to be really cool.
How does one contact your church? I mean, you don't have a physical location yet. So.
No, we don't.
Oh, look at that. See, Josh is on top of things.
He's got our logo up there.
See, that's why he gets the big money.
Our website is boldcitybtx.com. You can find us on Facebook at Bold City Church BTX, or Instagram is Bold City BTX.
And this is your first full-on service.
This is our first full-on service. We have a good team of close to 30 people who are helping do it. We got a great worship team. We have a great media team. I think actually we have a guy who's really good at media, but he was training my son, who's a senior, to do it. So he might be running media this, and we'll see how. No, he's done all the AV training through CHS, and so it's a good fit. And then we have a great group who's ready to welcome everybody and hang out and have a good Sunday morning.
Is this going to be streamed?
No.
Okay.
No, we might post. I think we're going to post the sermon later. You have to you don't realize that churches pay to stream their worship and you know what I mean, because there's licensing for the songs. So we're not paying for that yet. But we'll probably post the sermon afterwards.
That is an issue because a while back I tried to do a music show with a buddy and it just wouldn't work because we didn't have the licensing fees, and that's why we have a generic intro and all this, because Facebook is very difficult Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Anyway, so 11 o'clock, Texas Health over in the west part of Burleson.
Yes.
Right? And it's going to be wonderful. And you're going to have other events, I assume, throughout the year.
It is. So that's our first pop-up. We'll have another pop-up service in January, and then we're looking to officially start services in February.
Where?
We're thinking the Brick. Nobody's signed anything, but we're talking with the Brick right now.
Okay.
And so we'll use the gym as our sanctuary, and then they have the meeting rooms. They don't open till noon that day. So as long as we're out by noon, they're I think we can make it work.
Well, that's fine. And, when I was a young man, 12 years old, we moved back to Plano, I went to a satellite church that started in an elementary school.
Yeah.
As First Baptist, Plano put a satellite church until we were large enough to incorporate on our own and become Prairie Creek, which is still there. But so that's a good idea. If not, we'll find somebody else or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, so far it was their idea. So but there were people who work there who are oh yeah, we can totally do that.
Oh,
and so it looks like it's going to be a done deal. But I said, the papers aren't signed. So
yeah. Well, and for anybody that's well, wait, isn't that a public facility? This is common.
We would be paying to rent it,
right.
just like you would for a party.
Yeah. So this is perfectly legit, and this happens everywhere. So that you got a lot going on, don't you? And you mentioned your son that's a senior at Centennial. Let me, I bet, watch Josh throw this up. We have the Burleson Opportunity Fund.
Yes.
There you go. See, I knew we throw it up there. They're going to be on the show probably in January because we're going to have a golf tournament in late May.
Yeah. And
Sam Ross is the second in command of our little group. And so we'll be raising money and all this other stuff. And, so it's a really good program. It really is. We had our little event the same day y'all did that morning, and we raised, I don't know exactly how much we raised because that's not my end of the business, but it was pretty successful.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a great program.
It is a great program.
Yeah, the Texas bar, whatever, was it? The one in downtown Burleson.
Old Texas.
Yeah, Old Texas
Company?
Brewery. That's it. Yeah, they catered the breakfast. It was very, very good.
Yeah,
Nice.
They're so generous.
Yeah.
Jamie and them, they do a great job.
I've met her a couple times at chamber events. So
Yes.
That's a good thing. Well, we're close to the end. So y'all got Christmas plans?
I'm going to have 2 of my children and their spouses and their children and their dogs.
Oh, boy.
Christmas. That'll be
All
a
your-
house full.
What about Colton?
Yeah, it'll be
Colton.
Colton and Shauna and their 2 boys and their dog. And then my youngest, David, and his wife, Allison, their little girl and their dog. And then my dog.
Wow. Full house.
I'm looking forward to
Christmas
it. Because they're
cheer.
going to be there, Christmas morning and Santa Claus and all that. And I'll probably
remember that.
cry. I'll probably
Yeah,
cry.
I know you. And you got probably the same thing going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
know.
Everybody comes to my house usually, so that's what we'll do. We'll probably decorate gingerbread houses and do all the stuff with the kiddos.
Is your mother a Christmas person?
Well,
I mean, she's so
She-
involved in so many things.
that's the thing. I think she was, and now and it's not that she's not.
Yeah.
But they work on a Christmas tree farm. They have a Christmas tree farm.
Yeah.
So it's work season. They're super busy doing a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So she usually she cooks and brings it to my house. And so, yeah, we have a good time.
Well, Sherry Scott says, great show. Thank you for all you do. Aaron Ash, besides saying hello, he also says, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas.
Yeah, I have one show on Monday. I'm really not even sure what the topic is. It's probably going to be like a retrospective this year. There's been a full year.
You got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and then a week from Monday. I'm only going to have 2 shows during that 2-week holiday period. And it's just going to be me, probably, because it's hard to get guests, actually.
Yeah.
Because they're so busy. I called a couple of people. I thought, it'd be a good opportunity for a year-end thing. And they're like, out of town, got family, et cetera, et cetera. And I get it. So, what Rob and I are going to do on Christmas morning is we're going to sleep late, get up, and I don't know, watch TV. I don't know, because we don't have kids.
Yeah.
Our kids are older,
Yeah.
and I think our son will be in town, but he'll sleep till doomsday. So, if the Chinese were coming down the street in tanks, it wouldn't wake him up. So anyway, Josh, how about you? You got big plans?
No, just hanging out with family.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hanging out with family, he's like, I guess hanging out with my family.
No, they're great.
Christmas Eve, we're going to Corsicana with my mom. This will be the first one without my dad, so it'll be interesting. But Thanksgiving really wasn't like some melancholy event. We were at the meal. We were talking funny stories, telling funny stories about my dad.
Yeah.
And my mom is handling it probably better than I thought most people would. She just like, this is the Lord's will. So what can he say?
Yeah.
All right. Y'all take care. And we will see you Monday at 11. Try to stay out of trouble. And thanks for listening.